Welcome to Devlog 2. Today we're going to work on 4 things. The first being the key and door system. Second, the breakable objects. Third, we're going to do some bug fixing on the dialogue system. Fourth, we're going to work on adding sound effects to all these items. So the key and door system is pretty simple. Essentially, you have 2 components. You have the key and you have the door, and then you have the blueprint interface that actually communicates in between both of them. This is essentially just a function saying that we picked up the key. So it will hold what information we have there. From there, we will have the key. All the key does is interact. So whenever we use, for example, the interaction key, it will destroy itself, and then it will let you know that you have picked up a key, which will basically talk to the interaction, the interface. From there, we have the BP door, which is essentially a static mesh, right? A static mesh of a door with a box collision. So whenever you're inside this box collision, essentially, it will let the first person character know that you're inside there, and we do have the key. So then if we do have the key, it will play this animation. Essentially, the animation is the door rotating 90 degrees or 110 degrees in this case, opposite direction of the character. And the way it knows that is from the previous key. So key as well is just a static mesh with a box collision that can hit. So whenever you interact with this, it will destroy itself and essentially tell the interface that, hey, you do have a key. And the cool thing about that is that once you're in the world, you can actually spawn in a door, and you can spawn in a key, and I will have a link for the tutorial that I followed for this as well. But essentially, once you have the key in here, you can see the door, and you can just essentially pick any door you want it to correspond to. And this is what that looks like. Alright, you have your key, you can pick it up, and you see that I'm inside and it won't open. That's because this key actually corresponds to this door. Same thing if I were to go over here, I wouldn't do anything unless I pick up the corresponding key. And that's what we have there. Alright, cool. So that's super simple. That's how it came out. Alright, so now with the key and door system completed, we are going to move over to the breakable item. The very next thing that I created was essentially being able to break objects. So once I go into here, I am able to, hold on, let me lower the volume. I'm able to press E, and essentially it'll just break whatever item I'm facing. Essentially, the way this works is just its own actor. Within the actor, same thing as the other ones, just a static mesh with a box collision. So whenever the sphere trace enters this box, it'll tell the box to destroy itself, and then the target is the box static mesh. And yeah, that one was pretty simple. You can add different health bars to this if you add a health system to the item. I have not, but essentially you'll go up to here, and for the purpose of this, essentially my character is going to be needing an alternate route to get through to where he wants to go, and he'll be having to open up a great, kind of like if you ever played Batman Arkham Asylum, there's a quick time event, not really a quick time event, but an interaction where you essentially mash the button and the grate opens and you have a new pathway. And that's essentially what I did here. Alright, now that we have 2 out of 4 items, next let's fix the bugs on the dialogue system. Alright, the next thing on the agenda was debugging the character dialogue. So essentially what would happen was if you were sprinting or doing any other input outside of interacting, right at the same time as you interact with the character, that input would carry along and you continue sprinting like you see here on the screen. Well, now essentially what I had to do was look for a flush input setting. So now instead of running past the character, when you go up to them, you'll actually be able to stop dead in your tracks, even if you were pressing sprint or whatnot. So that's working pretty well, and yeah. Now, before we move on to making our own sound effects, I did want to add an extra honorable mention of all the other stuff I kind of added in between this entire process. Before we continue to the sound effects and me having to make them, I did want to add some honorable mentions to stuff that I had implemented to the game that I haven't necessarily listed on here. So for one, I added a crosshair in the main world. So now you know what you're actually communicating with and touching. Before there was nothing there, so you didn't know where you were clicking, you didn't know what you were doing to pick up a key. Outside of that, you may have noticed my character sprinting. My character was not able to sprint before, so you can now sprint. You can now walk at a medium pace. You can sprint as well as aim in, like you were able to before. Outside of that, for the Patreon members, I did create a demo so you can download this area and test everything out as it's coming out. I also added an FPS area. I know the door is a little wide, but this is the same door. These are all assets that are going to be swapped out, and I'm going to have to create my own at some point. But now you can come in here, pick up the key, opens the FPS test. Another cool feature that I added was a flashlight. So now we have a flashlight attached to your character's body. It's not super bright right now, but that's something that we're gonna have to adjust later on. I also added a character light. So now no matter where you go, the character is lit up from a magic light. So it's not just a dark corridor. I mean, it is a dark corridor, but you can see your character and what he's doing the entire time. So now you can come back in here and you can run through this. In the demo, it's live for play testing. You can come in here and this will just spawn as long as you're on the outside, all the characters and the monsters that you were able to fight before. Right now, it's just a corridor you could walk through, since, you know, I don't want to keep spawning NPCs as I'm testing stuff over and over again and just put extra strain on my computer for no reason. But yeah, you can come down here. The flashlight is mounted to the shoulder of the character, so it doesn't move much past that. But yeah, that is what we have so far. Alright, with the majority of the items done, the last thing we're missing is to make the sound effects. Because let's be real, no game is complete without sound effects, and your favorite game mechanics wouldn't be satisfying without them. Could you imagine if Fortnite didn't have any down sound effects, or any Battle Royale for that matter? If COD didn't have hit markers? Anyway, we have two choices, to download SFX and install them, or to make my own. So I decided the difficult route because I want to learn everything I possibly can about game design, about game making and game developing. I not only want to just program the game, design the game, and code the game, I want to be able to do sound, I want to be able to do art, I want to do everything I can to be a well-rounded game developer. So to do that, I need 4 sound cues. 1, the key pickup sound. 2, the door unlock sound. 3, the door open sound. And 4, the great opening sound. So let's do it. So now that I'm here in FL Studio, I want to set my mic input as DJI mic and my actual headset. Okay, cool. Next thing we want to do, go to the first track and make sure we can hear ourselves. Cool. Now what I had added is a fruity limiter so it doesn't pick up random stuff in the background, but we can go ahead and record this jingle and let's see what this comes out to be. So we're going to record into this first track. Let's see what it came out to. Hey, that's pretty good. Alright, let's see. We can export this now. That actually sounds pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That's actually pretty good. What the fuck? No PC cases were harmed during this filming. Okay, let's see what this sounds like. Yo, that actually sounds pretty good. Okay, now that we have the key pickup, it's time to move on to the great opening, as well as the door unlock and the door opening sounds. I will be back as soon as we have all of those. Alright, I have all the sound effects that we need. So we have the pickup for the key, right here. We have the unlock sound effect. Sounds pretty good. Door unlock and open. Hey. And we have the great sound effect. So now with all of this, let's add it into a little demo and I'll show you guys what everything looks like at the end. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final result. That is what I have so far. Thank you guys for watching. This process has been super educational and super fun to film and do and produce. Can't wait to see you guys on the third devlog. If you guys want to see how I got into Unreal Engine to begin with, watch this video. Anyway, peace out.